Hello, YouTube. We are knee deep into the 24-hour stream right now, but by the time this is uploaded, that'll be way past that. That's okay. I'm showing off our Bloomlord deck profile. This is what me and my testing group has been working with. This current pile of 55 cards in the EX3 format. Um, you cannot deny that this is one of the best decks of the format, maybe the best deck of the format. This deck is incredibly powerful. We play a lot of weird cards, but it's in order to help certain matchups. So this, a lot of decks look the same. There's a lot of tech cards in this, and just let me explain the tech cards to you. Everything will make sense, and hopefully this helps you with Bloomlord because it's going to be everywhere. Let me tell you. If you guys like this content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn the notification bell to smash potatoes. That way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos come out. So we'll start with the eggs, and we're actually running 5 eggs, which is kind of different. 4 Argomon from BT2 and 1 Gummymon. So Argomon during your turn, if this becomes unsuspended during the unsuspended bend phase, gain a memory. The extra memory helps you a lot. Gummymon comes up sometimes. Once per turn, if your opponent becomes suspended, draw a card. Here's the thing. I find that my deck bricks a lot less than maybe other Bloomlord lists because I play a good amount of rookies and champions. So if you find yourself bricking, you might want to play more Gummymons because the draw power is really good. But I'd much rather prefer the memory than the draw, which is why we're doing what we're doing. So five eggs. They're good eggs. You love to see it. We'll move on to the rookies next. For the rookie lineup, we're obviously playing 4 of the BT10 Palmon. Whole lot of glare. Wow, Jesus. All right. On play, your top 4, you add a card with vegetation or plant and 1 traits, and 1 card with fairy. Bomb net the rest. It's not uncommon for you to just maybe slam this turn 1 instead of evolving over your egg, because this can net you 2 cards. Usually, when evolving, it would normally net you 1. So just consider that. This might be one of your rookies that you just hard play. We're playing 4 copies of the new Pokemon EX3. During your turn, it would in effect suspends this Digimon. Suspend my opponent's Digimon. Now, I've seen this mistake all the time. If you attack with this, you do not suspend something. Okay? And it has to be suspended by an effect, which is easy enough to do in your deck. Trust me. Just make sure you're suspending it by an effect. Okay? Then we're playing 2 copies of Terriermon, because memory denial is kind of important to have. The only reason we're not playing 4 of it is because it's not a vegetation, a plant, or a fairy. That's the only reason why. If it was, we'd be playing 4 of this too. But only playing 2. The last 4 of rookie we're playing in this deck, and the last rookie is the BT9 Pomumon. The one that says all turns, your opponents can't play Digimon. Oh, sorry, players can't play Digimon by effects. Now, you might be wondering, well, Mario, doesn't that just screw your deck over? You can't play the game with that card. So, anyone that understands this Yu-Gi-Oh reference will know exactly why I'm playing 4 Pomumon in this deck. If you guys remember when Vanity's Emptiness became popular in Dragon Ruler format, people would set up their really big boards of Dragon Ruler stuff, flip a Vanity's Emptiness, so that your opponent couldn't make their own board. It's exactly the same principle with Pomumon. Against the mirror match, or against things like Jessamon or whatever, what you do is you build your really big board, then you drop the Pomumon from your hand. Then your opponent has a harder time responding if they require playing cards by effect in order to respond. It can win you the mirror match if you do it properly and at the right time. You don't do it when, you know, they have a level 5 in the back and they can just like Nidhogg you or something. That's really bad. But if you can like dismantle them, build a board, and drop a Pomumon, you auto win the game. Like, you extend the handshake. Like, it's that easy. So we play 4 Pomumon for that reason. It's a really good floodgate. You gotta play it. 14 rookies. We have a lot of rookies. We barely ever whiff on the rookies, which is important. Champions. Very simple lineup. We play 4 copies on Sunflowmon. When you Digivolve, you can suspend one of your green Digimons to play a Vegetation, Plant, or Fairy with 3000 DP or less. And the inheritable, once per turn, something suspends by effect, draw a card. It's really good. It's a really good card. It costs 2, it's fine, whatever. But we can drop the rest of our champions with this card. Like, we can drop 4 copies of Weedmon. You'll never Digiburst, but you can drop your Weedmon, and you can drop your red veggies that are just basically Numemons. 3,000 Numemons. And we also play them because they cost 1 to evolve, which is very cheap. Green is very cheap. That's it for the champions. There's nothing complicated about this lineup at all. You're basically going wide with your champions in order to help turbo into ultimates. So we're going to move right along to the ultimates. We're playing Agitar. 4 copies of Agitarmon. This card is broken. This card's incredible. So it's a main once per turn. By suspending 1 year green, you play a Digimon card with 3,000 DP or less. Again, so you play 1 year rookies or champions. That's a vegetation, plant, or whatever. Inheritable is cool too. Once per turn, if you suspend something when effect, gain a memory. So not only is this repeatedly abusable, but you also gain a memory on your big stacks. So that's very nice. So 4 copies of that. We played 2 copies of Cherrymon. This is a defensive Digizorb option. Yeah, it's not a free Digizorb like Blossommon. It's a 1-cost Digizorb, which is okay. This has the ability to redirect an attack once per turn, which is very important. It helps keep the stuff you want to keep alive. And some people forget about Cherrymon. Like, they don't know what this card does, and then they swing with something stupid, and then you just redirect, and it's like, oh, whoops. Card's very good. I think that if you're playing 4 Blossommon in your deck for some reason, try cutting some for Cherrymon. It'll come up, trust me. We are playing 2 copies of Blossommon. Digizorb 3, that's all it is. It's just a blank ultimate. Digizorb 3, that's it. Pretty straightforward in my opinion. We're playing 1 copy of Argomon because it's limited at 1. It is not a vegetation, a plant, or a fairy, so be careful with that. But it has the inheritable when attacking. You can play level 3 from your hand. That's pretty good. That's very, very good. And it Digiorbs for 3. You'll very often do this, and then you'll evolve into a 6, so it doesn't really matter too much. We are playing 1 more ultimate, though. We are playing 1 copy of Chimeramon. I'm a big fan of the singular Chimeramon, because your deck is spitting out champions like nobody's business, right? So you can use something like Chimeramon to attract something with a good inheritable from the trash, like a Sunflowmon, or a, where is it? Maybe even a Weedmon, you know what I mean? So Chimeramon gives you a free evolve. What it also lets you do... Did my webcam just break? What Chimeramon mainly lets you do is when you have 2 suspended champions out, you can Digiburst them into a Chimeramon, and you can like hybrid for game, or it can help you just go into a level 6 without evolving for your level 5, which sometimes you usually don't do anyway, but like it's extra value. And it always minus 2,000 on the board, which is kind of cool. It comes up sometimes. The 1 Chimeramon isn't like you could cut it if you want, and you'll probably be okay. But I really like the application that it gives you. I like it a lot. It's 1 games just by being Chimeramon, by having a DNA Digivolve. It's really cool. There was one time I attached a Sunflowmon when one of them was a Sunflowmon already, and I drew 2 cards for a couple turns. It was kind of crazy. It was pretty good. Yeah, so that's it. There are a bunch of ultimates. There are 10 ultimates. Big ultimate lineup. 14 rookies, 12 champions, 10 ultimates. And now we're going to our megas. The last 8 Digimon in our deck. We're playing 4 copies of Bloomlord. Okay, 4 to evolve. When Digivolving, you can suspend 1 of your other Digimon. You get a memory for each of your suspended vegetation, plant, and fairies. If you gain 2 or more memory, you unsuspend and gets piercing. And then during your turn, get security +1 and 2,000 DP for every 2 your suspended Digimon. That card is pretty good. It can attack for like 3 damage, usually, at 16,000 with piercing. It's a very offensive card. And to pair with that, we have a very good defensive card in EX3. We're playing 3 copies of Hydramon. Hydramon is the new toy that just makes this whole thing broken. Hydrassi is crazy. So 5 to evolve. Okay, when Digivolving, you can suspend you suspend a Digimon during your turn, all turns. When its opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, For each other like suspended thing you have with vegetation, plant, or fairy, you get a memory. It does not count itself. Make sure you don't count itself, but it can end your opponent's turn. It's like a giant hammer spark. It's kind of funny. And then the end of opponent's turn, once per turn, if you have 2 or more suspended vegetation, plant, fairies, you bottom deck one of your opponent's cards. That's a pretty good card. So it's a constant interruption on your opponent's turn, and at the end of your turn, it's bouncing something. It's a very good defensive card. You need it in tandem with your very good offensive card, which is Bloomlord. That's it. We play one last rookie, or sorry, Mega, and I lied to the chat when I said you'll never use Weedmon, because you will. I just didn't want to spoil it. We're playing one copy of Nidhogg in this deck. Nidhogg is crazy in the mirror match if you don't have access to things like Pomamon. Basically, you Digiburst 4 when you evolve, you suspend your opponent's Digimon 5000 DP or less, and then you bottom deck everything that's suspended. Really good against going wide decks. And Nidhogg is crazy. Just the one of is okay. I don't want to really see it that often. But when you resolve a Nidhogg against the mirror, you probably win. And if you resolve it against Justmon, you also probably win. So that's pretty good. That's it for our Digimon. 8 Digimon, 8 Megas. This leaves our deck with, you know, some cards. We have 6 cards left in the deck. 6 cards left in the deck is pretty good. We're playing 3 copies of Green Memory Boost. Just for the extra consistency and the extra memory. Being able to delay game memory later and add Green Digimon to your hand is really good. We are playing 1 copy of Samadhi Santi. This card is a brick, which is why I'm playing 1. 1 copy. 1 singular copy. Because it does come up. I hate drawing multiples. When you have it, you have it. It's really cool. I can also suspend Tamers, which comes up, and it perma-suspends whatever. So, the card's good, triggers your stuff, but you use your level 6s and such to do the suspending on your opponent's side of the field anyway. Yeah, you don't need Samadhi Santi, in my opinion. If you draw it, you hold it until you absolutely need it, and you're more than okay. We play 1 copy of HPD because of that one, and the card's fucking disgusting. And we top it off with 1 copy of Mimi. I don't need multiple copies of Mimi. This isn't a deck where you need to like cycle through your rookies and all that with Mimis. You know what I mean? The 1 is fine. If the memory setting is nice, and the memory setting almost feels kind of unnecessary with the amount of memory you gain in the deck. Plus multiple Mimis is a brick. Like, guys. 47 of the cards in this deck are Digimon, basically, thanks to the memory boosts. That's how I want to play this deck. We played this with heavier Tamer counts, heavier option counts, and it was just bricking left, right, all over the place. It was an unpleasant experience. Once we did this, we made it more Digimon focused. Bricking issues still happen occasionally, but like not as common. That's why we're doing the way we're doing it. We tested this deck extensively. It has a very high win rate in testing against all the decks that matter in the format. And do definitely expect Bloomlordmon. And maybe consider something like Pomamon. Because this deck is wild. This deck is absolutely insane. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And we'll see you later. Bye.